Yes, we've been very, very lucky to get part two of Ashley Mallett back in the studio with us. Vaz, an absolute legend of the game. And I want to ask you, 38 tests for Australia. Are there a couple that stood out for you?
Well, there was one. I got eight for in a test match. And it was against Pakistan in December '72. And I bowled really badly in the first innings. So the second innings, I thought I'll just concentrate on my rhythm. And I ended up getting 8 wickets. And that's the best innings performance in on the Adelaide Open in a test in the 20th century. Some bloke got 8 for in 1890 or something.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Mate, we're talking just before off air. We were telling some stories, and maybe we'll get to one of those before we finish. But we're talking about great captains, and we'll get to Ian Chappell in a minute. But most people are very familiar with Bill Lawry. Of course, went on to become a great commentator. Just recently retired, and everybody loves Bill. But you played under him as a captain. Was he the same? Was he enthusiastic like we see on TV, or a different?
No, he's different on the field. I mean, he's got a great sense of humour, and I'm sure his sense of humour came into play when he dealt with the spinners. I always thought Bill thought spin was something to do with a washing machine, you know.
The spin dryer. The cycle.
He wasn't keen.
No, he wasn't. He wanted you just to bowl really tightly and not try and get people out. I mean, I'd rather bowl 20 overs, 5 for 90 or something, than bowl 40 overs, 2 for 90.
Yeah.
So he liked someone like John Gleeson, who was quick through the air, quite flat and tight. He was a brilliant captain with the medium paces, Alan Connolly, or if he had a fast bowler, he was good. He was a terrific batsman, good fieldsman, but spinner as well, you know. One game we're playing against West Indies in Brisbane, and I'm bowling to Rowan Canai, West Indian, terrific player.
Great player.
Anyway, he's come down the track and drop kicked me over a bit on one bounce before to go to 96. So I said to Bill, and what do you want? And I said, mate, he's going to do that again. I said, put Cho, Johnny Gleeson, nicknamed Cho because cricket hours only, that's the only time I ever saw him. And, anyway, I said, put him back because he's going to go again. I've got a gut feeling it's going to happen. No. Rowdy, my boy, he said, Rowan Canai is on 96, he's not going to play a rash shot. I said, Bill Lawry, my boy. His name's Rowan Canai, not bloody Bill Lawry. Put him back. So anyway, he said, no, I won't. So I said to Joe, I said, mate, I'm going to do up my laces and take a bit of time. You go me. No, Joe was about 50 at the time, so he took a while to get back on the fence. And anyway, it happened. Came down the track and I mishit it, and Joe caught it about 3/4 of the way to the fence. Bill came up and said, what a good field place that was. Yeah, well done, Bill.
Brilliant captain.
But he was a brilliant, great player. And I reckon the 100 he got against England on the ridge at Lord's in 1961
Brilliant.
was the most courageous innings of all time. And Neil Harvey, who was a wonderful player, told me that.
Mate, you touched on it before, and there are some coaches or captains in different sports that don't know how to utilise the talents that they've got. Ian Chappell, with you, how was his
it was fantastic. I mean, he sort of empowered you. He didn't tell you how to bowl ever. And I think one of the great things, and probably why he had a confidence in me, is because I used to bowl to him and his brother Greg before Greg went to Queensland. And we'd have a sort of a battle in the nets, you know, and it was sort of like a simulated match, if you like. I mean, as close as you can to the real thing. And, you know, you set your field and all that sort of stuff. And Chappelli came down the track and hit one about that high off the ground, you know. I claimed that. That's a beer, you know. And if you hit one in the air, that's 4, you know. And it was really hot on. One of the best things to do at practice is have a competition with someone and pick the captain, because he's more likely to get the ball as long as he can bat, you know, and most captains can bat. So, and I thought that helped him having a bit of belief in me.
He was brilliant, wasn't he? He
was magnificent.
A fantastic captain,
Yeah.
A team captain. He was. I'll never forget one. He said that he's the captain of South Australia, and he's also the captain of Australia. This is before we went out in the field. He said, but when we get to that line and we walk across that line, there's 11 captains. You're all captain. Because if you see something that you think that we may be able to get someone out or whatever, I want to hear from you. In other words, so what Rao was saying about empowering, that's what he did to the team. He gave you that sense of, well, I'm part of this deal out here. And that's the way he operated. And that's the way he operated on the ground. And that's the way he operated when he was batting. You know, he was a fantastic
we
captain.
were playing a very tight game in Melbourne. It was one of the best tests I've ever played in, but it ended up a draw. I think we had 8 to get off the last ball. I tried to hook
Didn't
it.
get him.
I tried to hook it for 48, but it missed. And I think we were 8 down. But anyway, I'm bowling to, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Fletcher or someone, which we always gave a bit of stick to, because for some reason, I don't know. Anyway, the ball's gone out to Dougie Walters, and Dougie was always playing pranks, you know, and he knew I was scared of spiders, so we threw this bloody ball to him, and it had a big spider on it. It was at least that big, but it was stuck to the bloody ball, you see. And so then I thought, the spider, I don't know where the spider went. It was only one of those rubber things. Gone away. And I thought, I wonder what would happen with a big lump of chewing gum on the ball. So I just bowl it with the bloody chewing gum. Same thing happened as the ball before, straight in the middle of the bat. But I remember, and this was going on, it was a very tight situation, and they weren't getting too many runs, and we were getting through the weeks a bit. And Chappelli stopped play, because Greggy was starting to get runs, Tony Gregg starting to get a few runs, but so Chappelli wanted to settle things down, you know. It's a bit like calling time in baseball, you know, and he came up. What do you reckon? And I said, oh, keep it going. He said, yeah, I think so. And went back first slip. And, so he would also, you could suggest a field placing, and he would usually go along with it, as long as it wasn't too silly. Like, I mean, one time, Dennis Lilly wanted playing left-hander against Surrey, I think it was, and he wanted 2 gullies on the fence. I said, why? Let's give it a go. And he said, oh.
Did it work?
No.
Actually, I really appreciate you coming in, mate. We could talk forever. You need to get a hold of this book. It is an absolute beauty.
It is a classic.
It's a classic?
It's a classic. I've actually seen a few stories in here, some of the great stories in here.
Good stories.
You talk about the chewing gum on the ball. It was the very first thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
Very first game. Fielding had been off, the ball was thrown around, new ball. You're all keen, never, you know, you don't want to say nothing. You're the first timer. Threw the ball to mid-off to me, grabbed it, and it's got about 3 of the biggest lumps of chewy, like you're just pulling it off you. Match fixing. Ball tampering.
We were just about to go on the field in Brisbane, and there's a bloke, a fellow named Andrew Sinko, was blow drying his hair, and this is this is in the near going through the door, you see, and Chappelli looked at him and thought, he didn't say anything. We're walking onto the field. He said, Rowd, you're opening the bowling. I said, what? He said, well, Fang, Wayne Pryor can come down and you can go where the blow dryer would have been. And he said, any bloke, and I said, why? He said, any bloke that blow dries their hair will never open the bowling in my team. And he didn't quite say it in those words, but you know.
It's a good process of we complicate things way too much. Ashley, great to catch up with you, mate. Stay with us. Still more to come on the show.